Caterpie. Really, Caterpie doesn't have anything special about it. Butterfree, it's a fully evolved form, really doesn't have anything special about it either. I mean, it can learn Poison Powder, Stun Spore, and Sleep Powder. Its main use is probably going to be Sleep Powder. But really, there's better Pokemon to put things to sleep, and its type doesn't help it. And on top of that, it doesn't have great stats. So really, I'd only recommend it for a fan of the anime looking for nostalgia. First off, Caterpie. It's decent, but it's not as good as it was in the original games, because the psychic moves that it would learn as a later stage aren't as effective in this game, so its bad stats kind of shine through a lot more in this one. Next up is Metapod, just Caterpie's evolved form, except all it can know is Harden, though, so I would recommend if you wanted a Butterfree, I mean, just catch it as a Caterpie and train it up, though, because it's harder to train as a Metapod. Butterfree, the final evolutionary stage of Caterpie, it learns some psychic moves, but it's not the best psychic user due to its lackluster stats and bad type. But I guess, you know. By the way, love the grass here. Oh, apparently this guy's name is Nick.
Butterfree. This is another example of kind of an average early game bug type appearing really, really late in our adventure. And for that reason, I just don't really think it's that useful of a choice because we've kind of come far enough already. If you want to get it, obviously I can't stop you. I will never try to stop you from choosing what you want. I'm just saying that it's one of those instances of just, if it was early game, I'd suggest grabbing it as is just because of that. Can argue against Psychic in its starting moveset, you know, it's not too terribly bad. It doesn't get same type attack bonus, but the special attack stat is not awful. It's just that everything else is kind of not that good. That's all I really have to say.
I always wondered where all those trainers in Gold and Silver got their level 50 Metapods from. But anyway, it knows one move, Harden. Yeah, even at this level. It evolves in one level, which means having to use a heart scale to teach it anything. This family is only found in white version. You can trade the headache of spending a lot of time to reteach moves for the headache of finding a 5% fully evolved Butterfree and Rustling Grass, if that sounds less headachy to you. Believe it or not, I think Butterfree is pretty cool now. I fully admit that it has its flaws, specifically 7 of them, and they're called HP, Attack, Defense, Special Attack, Defense, Speed, and Type. But it has 2 main strategies that set it apart from everything else, and they're pretty fun to use. First off, it's one of very, very few Pokemon to have Quiver Dance, which is already a massive plus. Don't need to say it any further than that. It can put this buff power to good use, and some might like that. But where it really shines would be through Compound Eyes, making its Sleep Powder almost 100% accurate. Butterfree is fast for 100% sleep standards, and the fact that it's able to buff with Quiver Dance while the enemy sleeps, don't lie. Despite its flaws, that sounds pretty fun.
Butterfree with Tinted Lens in white 2 only. Definitely the better of the duo, making it so it can always have a stab attack reliably. Butterfree looks disappointing at first for a multitude of reasons when you glance at those stats, but it's an alright Pokemon for one reason alone. Quiver Dance. It's one of the few Pokemon that actually learn it, instantly making it kind of interesting. Let's get talking about Caterpie! This is a Pokemon I feel is kind of slept on. Literally. All it has going for it is almost 100% accurate Sleep Powder due to Compound Eyes. 70 speed with almost guaranteed sleep is honestly pretty good. We can make that speed even better with a Choice Scarf, which is pretty easy to obtain this time around. It's fully evolved by level 10, and it has probably the highest stats we'll be seeing for quite a bit. But that's really all that it is. Here's the thing. Those stats suck after the early track. I guess you could teach it some bug moves and flying moves, but what the heck is it gonna do with those? A lot of them are physical, and it has 45 attack. It's good sleep, that's about all it does, but that's not bad. We can catch the evolved form Metapod around here. Don't do it. It only comes knowing Harden and is factually superior if caught as a Caterpie because it keeps the moves from its earlier stage.